Folks, and welcome to the second question in intersection with the auxiliary method. And I've gone ahead and I have set up this much of the question just to save a bit of time, okay? So it's based on a 50mm square. When you're looking down at it on plan there, obviously this object rises up to a point and it's been intersected by the square-based prism. And I've gone ahead and drawn that, okay? And it is just labeled up 1, 2, 3, 4. If you're looking for maybe for page spacing, I kept my XY line down 140mm, and I kept, if you want to talk about maybe this corner here, for example, I kept it in 160mm from the edge. Okay, so we'll kick off from there then. So I have the 1, 2, 3, 4 set up. Okay, so next thing I'll do there is I'll bring down these lines. And in fact, you might as well run them down longer. We'll need them later on when we're doing that auxiliary. And I'll just throw in my X1, Y1 line now. I'll need it later on anyways. Now, in these questions, they will always give you one of the lines in plan view. And so it's very important, as we said, that you're able to recognize which is which. Now, as I look at that and I'm looking at the question, line 1 is going to be here, line 2 will be the near side. The far side there will be line 4. And the bottom will be line 3. Okay, so remember, if you were to stand there and look in this way, it hinges out that way. That is the way it would appear flat when you look in along it. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, the only line we are given is the lowest one in plan view, and we are told that that is 58mm down from this corner here. So we'll measure down 58mm, and we'll put in a light line there. Now, that is the closest line to me in plan. So when I'm looking in this way in elevation, I know that this is going to be line 2. Okay, so line 2 is the closest one to me. This guy is going to be in hidden detail. We're showing that in the question. I'll just put him in dash there, so don't forget that. This guy is going to be the closest line 2. So this is line 2 down here. So as you stand in looking in there, the closest edge will be line 2 to us. Now, what we'll go and do after that then is so what we have to go and do after that then is we have to find out how far these are spaced apart here in plan view. And we will get those measurements up here in our auxiliary. This is another auxiliary of the square-based prism. So if we draw down a series of lines perpendicular to our lines of projection, I will find out, by this is all like the same thing as looking directly down on top of this object here. I will find out how far these are spaced apart. So that is the distance from 4 to 1. We'll call that D1. D2 here could be from 1 to 3. Call that D2. And the third distance, D3, is from 3 to 2 there. Now they do change in each view, because if 2 is the closest one up here, it's the nearest one down here then. Okay, it's the closest one to us. So to space them out then at that, the next one is you're given in the question is the hidden detail one. Now when you look down from the top, you will see 2, 1 and 4, but so this is 3, so I need that distance there. We'll get that with our compass. And we'll mark it off there. So 3 will be on that line there. I know the distance then, I can mark them off then. The next one will be the top one. Okay, this next line, which will be my line 1 when I'm looking down on top of that. So I can get the distance from 2 to that. You could also measure this distance here and just add it on, it's the same thing. So that'll get me line 1. And then the distance from 2 to 4. And I can draw in those lines lightly now. And 3 will be in hidden detail in the plan view. 1 we'll see all of it. Just draw it in lightly so far. We don't know where it's going to start and stop, of course. And that is the plan view lightly set out in construction. So we need to find out where all these guys start and stop. So the next thing we're going to do now is we are going to go and we're going to set up the auxiliary down here on the left hand side. So again, we need to bring down all points, and actually we have it set up at 30 degrees this time, which is very handy for us. So we can bring down all points of interest to us. And we'll just label them then for clarity. So we have these 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll call the main corners on this A, B, C. O is there, so we'll just leave it. That could be a corner as well. We'll just call that O. And we'll just measure them out now and we'll get them set up in the plan view. So again, this is a new view. 1 view is back, 2 views back. The measurements are the same. So we can start off there. I usually, when I'm marking these off, I go with the first point away, which is C. We'll just label them there now as well in elevation to avoid any confusion later on. That corner now in elevation beyond the back. That's A, C, and E, and we'll call that corner O. So I get the first one away usually. Mark off C. Put it down here. Let's see, and we'll keep going through them now. Measure B here off the XY line. Move it over. And then I need to continue on that. And so on. So I'll stop talking now and I'll measure off all the rest of my points. Now, so when we have that set up, we now see looking in at our square base prism intersecting that object, okay? And now we're going to mark off all the points of interest to us. Now, because it's out sticking out on the left-hand side and on the right, 2 and 4 are not going to come into play as we look in here at it. So what we're going to get out of that is we're going to get a line of intersection like a loop on the top, and we're going to get a line of intersection on the bottom. So let's label up all points. So we called that already. I already used up A, B, and C, so we'll just continue on from there then. So starting at 1, if I go clockwise, first point of interest there will be D. Go to 4, I call this guy E. Point of interest there at the back, F. Down to 3, up to G, over here to H, up to 2, over here to I. Another one here at J, and there's one again there on the back, K, just before it goes back to corner 1. Okay, so a good few points there. So we've got to take into account for that now. So again, if I was to, I would encourage you to go labeling that. So maybe on the top, as we want to call it over here, you can write it over here if you find it handier. On the top, it's the line of intersection is going to go from, on the near side now as we see it, it's going to go from 1 to D. It's going to turn the corner at D, okay, and it's going to go back up to 1 on the far side. Then from 1 on the back side, it's going to go to K. From K, it's on the back corner there, it's going to come all the way down to I, turn the corner back onto this face here, up onto J, and then from J, it's going to go straight to 1, not to K, because K is on the back side. So it's doing a loop from one side to the other. On the bottom then, if we want to put it in there, so let's start off at 3, for example. So we'll go from 3, on the near side as we see it, it'll go to E. Then it'll go from E, it'll go on the back face there down to F. Then it will go from F to 3. On the back. Then from 3, it will go all the way up to H. And then it will go from H down to G. And finally then from G back to 3. So again, it has done a loop right around the object. And if we follow these when we're reconnecting the lines, we can't go wrong. Okay, so that's the beauty about doing that, taking that moment to do that. So now finding some of these will not be a problem. I'll just put B higher up there and C and A. So let's find as many of these points as we can now in our elevation first of all. So for example, when we're looking at, we'll take G there, it's the lowest down one. G is on the corner from B to the top of the object, okay? So we'll bring that up there. There's line B, going up to the top of the object. So that gets me G there, okay? And we keep doing the same for the rest of them. F is on that back corner, going from O on the bottom to the top. So bring that up there. That gets me F. Next one, E is on this corner from A to the top. So find that one there. E will be there. H is on the corner from C to the top. That will get me H. I is also on this line. And D is on that corner from A. And then we have J coming up here. J is on the corner from B to the top. K is on the back corner. And this is the beauty about labeling, folks. I have to say, if I didn't label that, there is no way I would be able to do that. Okay, so make sure you label all these drawings. Okay, now after that, then we have all our points there. We still need to find out, there's a couple, 2, as we said, and 4 won't come into play, but 3 and 1 will. So we need to find those points. Now remember, there's a 3 on the near side and there's a 3 on the back side of this object. Same with 1, there's a 1 on the near side and a 1 on the back side of the object. So I'll use green here to find 1. So I'll start at the top. We're going to draw this line in here through 1 on down till we hit the base there. And we'll recreate this up now in our plane or in our elevation. So if I follow that line up there, hits the ground there between O and A. And I'll redraw in that green line. And now I can find point 1 on that. Now that'll just get me point 1 on the back side, by the way. That is point 1 on the back side. Now I'm going to extend this line because I need to find 1 on the front. Okay, so I'm going to extend down this line and it's going to hit the line now between B and A. So let's get that point in our elevation. There's the line between B and A, and I'll redraw in that green line. And it will cross here. That will find me 1 up here. So the first green line only went down to the bottom. That was to get the 1 on the back. Then I extended the green line down to, because I need to find 1 on the front. So 1 on the front is happening on this surface here. And so I stopped on BA, found that, and that got me the point 1. And I'm going to do the same thing over here now to get point 3. So first of all, there's a 3 in the back. Let's find that guy first. And I just need to join in my corner here to do that. So I'm starting at the top, drawing in this line, this orange line through 3, down till it hits the ground. Okay. So we find that line in elevation, bring it up there, that's where it hits the ground. This will get us 3 on the back side now. And 3 is on this line. And now we need 3 on the front, okay? So 3 on the front, we'll just extend it down now. Start at the top, draw through 3, and it hits the line BA right here. Let's find that in elevation. And redraw in that for the front side of the object. That will get me 3. Now I'll just pause for a second. So these drawings are going to be quite detailed. Once you get used to them, they're not hard at all, but they are time consuming. Okay, so we've got all our points now for our elevation. So I think it'd be a good idea now maybe if we go ahead and we will draw in as much of this as we can. Okay. Now, so as we said, point 2 is not going to come into play. So when we're looking in elevation, we can see that point 2 is not coming into play at all with the object. So up here, you can draw that guy heavy right across there. We can see how far these guys come in now. He comes in as far as 1 there, as I call it. It'll be slightly in hidden detail there, a tiny bit of it. On the back then, slight bit of hidden detail to get out to the edge of the object. And then he goes down as far as there. 4 does not come into play at all because he's outside the object. We can see that there. So we can just put him in hidden detail going right through the object. And then 3, we can see where 3 is there now. Now 3 is on this side just behind it, so we won't see, we'll see it up as far as here, and then this piece here will be hidden detail. On the back, we'll be able to see it, okay, that's fine. Where he hits that face, between O and C, we will be able to see that. So we're okay there. Now, I always recommend you do these lines first, okay, to help you with the visualization. So we've got that now. Now it is time to do the line of intersection. And again, if we follow this, we cannot go wrong. So remember now, when your elevation there, this will be the closest side to you as you look in here. So you'll be able to see all this. You'll be able to see that full line of 2 there. Okay, there it is in our auxiliary. There it is in our elevation. So that means we'll be able to see, for example, on the near side there, we will be able to see where 1 is going down to J. Let's do that a bit heavier. It's going to go down to J. It's going to turn the corner at I, as we said, and it's going to go back up around. Okay, so we'll start off anyways, and we'll start off with labeling our drawing. Right, so following this, we'll start off there now and start going with the sequencing, and we can't go wrong. So we said if we start on the back side there and we go from 1 to D, okay, and then we're going to come back up to 1. So that's going to be in hidden detail, won't be able to see that bit. 1 to D, back up to 1. Next one then, it tells us is, well actually I went the other way when I was sequencing this. It doesn't matter though. We'll go this way. So 1 to D, back up to 1. Then we're going to go to K. That's going to be in hidden detail there. Okay. And then at K, from K on now, we'll be able to see what's happening. And we will go from K to I. We will go from I then up to J. And then from J then we are going back to 1 there. Okay. Okay, so we'll start off now and we'll finish out the bottom side as well. And we can see there going by our 3 sequencing. Now remember, you'll be able to see this side and the other side around the corner. But this back side, this side here, this face and this face here, you will not be able to see. So if we start off at 3 there, we're going to go from 3 to E. Okay, that'll be in hidden detail. 3 to F, hidden detail. Then it'll become in elevation. It will come into view. We'll be able to go from F back to 3. We'll see that. We'll be able to go from 3 up to H, H down to G, and back to 3 then in hidden detail. Okay, so let's do that. So starting off there, as we said, we're going to go from 3 up to E. Okay. Okay, so now we'll finish out the bottom side there and we'll use our number sequencing again. So we're going, just remember you can see this side in your elevation and the side around the corner, but you can't see this face or the guy on the back side here. So if we start off there, and this 3 will start on the near side. So 3 there is going to go to E. We won't be able to see that in hidden detail. E then will go down to F. F then will go back to 3, and from this point on now we'll be able to see this is just that piece there. 3 then is going to go from 3 up to H. So that will just be in hidden detail there because the way the object is twisted. 3 is going to go up to H. And then from H then, following our sequencing there, we're going back down to G. We'll be able to see that. It's on this face here. G to 3 we will not be able to see then. That's our last point then to join up. Okay. And we can finish out our corners heavy now in elevation to help with the visualization. And now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to get all the points. I'm going to locate down these here, and then I'll talk us through finishing them again. But it will be the same anyways as following that sequence, and just the lines of what you can see and not see will be slightly different. Hi folks, so just, you might notice it's been, some of the drawing has been coloured in, and I've got all the points in plan view. My phone died there, so while I was waiting for it to charge, I just coloured it in as well to help with the visualization. So we'll continue on now anyways, and we'll finishing off the plan view. So again, I'm going to use this, okay, the sequence we lined up. Now remember, when you're drawing your elevation, you were looking in this way, okay? But when we are looking, doing our plan view, just for seeing what kind of lines we'll see and we won't see, you have to imagine yourself looking in from above, looking directly down on that, okay? So I'm going to start at 1, and I am going to go off down here. So you can see there, if you're looking straight down, you would see going from 1 to D. So I'll draw in that heavy there. Then it's going to go from D back up to 1 on the far side. After that, we get to 1, we're going to go, we're at 1, we're going to go to K, which is up here, right on the corner. Then we're going to go from K to I. And then we're going to go from I to J. And then we're going to go from J back to 1. And we will see all of that. And at that stage then, if you want, you can do in your lines here heavy as well. And now we're going to do the line of intersection on the bottom side now, and all of this will be in hidden detail, okay? So we'll start there at 3, and we'll go to E. We'll go from E to F. F was on this corner here, remember? F back to 3, which we won't see, we'll bring it down as far as there. We're going to go from 3 to H. So we'll only partially see that. When we get to H, we're going back to G. And then we're going from G back to 3 then finally. Okay, and we can do in our bits of hidden detail then as well. And that is our drawing finished out. So I'm just going to colour it out for the visualization. Just to say as well that, you know, I know it seems like that will take you a while doing the first couple of these questions. Thankfully the ones in the exams, not always so complicated, more like the first question we did. But you have to practice it, and you have to be doing your labelling, okay? So we'll just stop talking out and I'll finish colouring this in. Now, one thing I would say to you before we leave that is, you know, just to go back over again, when you're joining in these, wondering about what you'll see and won't see, you're looking in from this side here to see your elevation. When you're looking at the plan, you're looking down here, okay? The line is the sequencing. Once you do that up, right, you cannot go wrong. It must join together. And if you were in an exam and you were unsure about is it hidden detail or not hidden detail, just draw them in, folks, because I think out of 45 marks for a question, if I remember correctly, it was only 2 marks for getting the hidden detail right in them, okay? So, hope you didn't find that too long, too tough, but, you know, it is a good topic to do, but in the exams, or the 35 minutes you would have, you would find that it would take you that nearly 35 minutes to do them, okay? So more videos to come soon, folks. Take care and stay safe.